Hey, everybody, it's the A15 Sports Podcast with Jake and Cole. Month-long hiatus for each other, but we're finally back and looking forward to getting back talking about sports with college football coming up next weekend and the NFL not too long behind it. So just to start off, some initial thoughts. Watched at Sports Center last night, and me and Jake want to give a shout out to the kid from Little League World Series, Easton Oliverson of Utah. He fell out of his bunk bed and fractured his skull, and we're hoping he's going to be all right. He's in our thoughts and prayers. And also, his team from Utah is the first team from Utah to ever make it to Williamsport Little League World Series. So congrats to them guys, and hopefully he recovers well, and hopefully the team does well down there in Williamsport. In other news, Baker Mayfield, he's probably going to be the Week 1 starter according to reports, and against his former team, the Browns. And the Browns got hit with some big stuff today. Watson's out 11 games, fined $5 million, and probably the Browns season's probably already over before it ever began.
I don't even know if you play him for Week 12.
Yeah.
I mean, if they got a winning record, maybe, but I mean, at that point, if you're under 500, you're just risking injury, or I mean, the team's going to already be in rhythm or not rhythm, and just throwing him in there, I don't know if that works out or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I might not play him either because they're probably going to be under 500 and playoffs aren't going to be in sight.
It's a tough division, too.
Yeah.
With the Ravens and the Bengals and the Steelers.
Yeah. Who you got winning that division?
Probably the Bengals.
I agree with that.
I think the Ravens will hang around for most of the year, but I like the Bengals. I don't know if Pittsburgh's got enough yet. We'll see. They're always in it, though. They're one of those teams that you never want to play, especially in Heinz Field with those terrible towels.
Yeah. They got a new field now. They got rid of Heinz.
What's it called now?
I have no idea, but they got rid of Heinz. I've seen the stuff. They removed that big ketchup bottle. So, with that being said, we'll jump into what Rodgers had to say earlier this week. So in an interview, which I'm sure most of you guys saw, Rodgers called out the young wide receivers for their drops and their bad route running. I saw some of the videos, and it was pretty bad. Romeo Doubs, who they've been talking about a lot, had some really good plays in camp. He was wide open, dropped a ball. It would have been a surefire touchdown. He had a few drops in the preseason as well. So hopefully he's able to fix that. And we're going to be relying on these young guys,
Yeah.
So. And even Randall Cobb, he chimed in today and had some words about it too, which he was saying, the young guys, you either got to get with it or you got to get out.
Well, it's early, so there's still a couple weeks. And these guys probably aren't used to getting the ball zipped into them from Aaron Rodgers, but it's no excuse. If you get two hands on a ball, you got to catch it from anybody. But, I mean, who knows if these guys even make the roster. So, I mean, are they going to make the roster, these guys that are dropping the passes?
Yeah, Dove's going to be on there.
Well, that's not good, but.
Yeah. But Adams had drop issues his rookie year, too. We saw what he became, so.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be worried. Maybe it's a good thing he's calling them out. He lights a fire under their ass. I don't, who knows?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
You don't want a quarterback just to not do nothing and say nothing, because a lot of times the coaches nowadays don't call the players out because of the world we live in. So if the quarterback needs to do it and he does it early, it's better to do it early than late. So maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah. Anything to add about your Dolphins?
Well, Mike McDaniel had an interesting comment. He has a lot of interesting comments.
Yeah.
He is very it's intriguing to listen to him talk. He really thinks about what he's going to say. Mm-hmm. He said that Tua throws the most accurate pass that he's seen from a quarterback ever. Now, I don't know how to take that. Because I haven't really seen it.
Not consistently yet.
He's had some good throws. He's had some good games. He hasn't been consistent. But for Mike McDaniels to say that, and they've only been together for a couple months, that's pretty interesting. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And we know what Tyreek said about him, the same thing. So.
Yeah, and hopefully for your Dolphins, it is a lot better this year.
Yeah, it's been better the last couple of years. They haven't been able to win that extra game. I mean, two winning seasons in a row. So it's playoff. I think it's playoff or bust, if you want my opinion.
And then Tua off to wherever.
This is for Tua too. It's his make or break. Hit the door if you ain't up to par, I guess.
Yeah. So college football, it's finally back next week. Me and Jake can't wait. Jake, is there anything you want to add? Just start out before we start talking about Oklahoma.
No, I'm excited to get going down to Champaign for some of these games and tailgating. It's fun atmosphere. Get to drink, eat, go to the game, and then continue afterwards. So
yeah,
he'll start with Oklahoma, and then I'll end with Illinois.
Yeah. So look at Oklahoma's schedule right now. They're only supposed to play 2 ranked teams, Baylor and Oklahoma State, and I guess you could say 3 because chances are 2 of those 3 teams will be in the Big 12 championship game. I've got Oklahoma playing Baylor in the championship game only because Baylor and Oklahoma State, when they play each other this year, it's at Baylor, and I think that Baylor's going to get the best of them. I really like Baylor's head coach, Dave Aranda, and they looked really well last year. They got a lot of guys returning, and I think they're going to be really good again this year. But I think Oklahoma's going to be better. I've got Oklahoma going undefeated. Early on, they really don't play that many, teams that are
their schedule
well-known.
It's a fairly nice. It's a nice schedule if you like Oklahoma.
Yeah, they eased their way into it. Like I said, they only got 2 ranked opponents. Texas isn't even ranked this year.
Yeah,
it's pretty embarrassing for Texas, really, to be honest. But anyways, off of Texas, first we got UTEP. I got that marked up as a win, and then we got Kent State. And that should be another easy win. And then against Nebraska, which Nebraska normally they've been bad lately.
But who knows? It's at Nebraska, but
yeah, I still foresee that to be a win. Like I said, 12-0. Kansas State win, TCU win. Then they play on October 8th. They play Texas in the Cotton Bowl at a neutral site.
Is that the Red River rivalry?
Yeah.
Why are they switching stadiums?
It's always played there, or maybe I'm wrong.
I thought it was played in the outdoor one.
Yeah, you're right. It's played at the Texas State Fair.
Are they still playing it there this year?
Yep. So yeah, it's played at the Texas State Fair. I may be at that game. I hope I am. And then since 2000, Oklahoma's 16-7 against Texas, so we pretty much own them. The last 2 years, obviously, we wanted stunners, and really, we weren't even that good the last 2 years, in my opinion.
That's a fun game.
Oh yeah.
There's no defense played, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah. And I think our defense is going to be tremendously better this year. I think Brent Venables just brings, obviously, defensive-minded. He's had some of the top defenses at Clemson, especially when they won the titles. There with Trevor Lawrence in his first year, and then that year, I think it was 2016 with Watson. He's won 3 national titles, 1 with OU. He's coached in 8 national title games, so he's 3 out of 8.
This is Clemson's old defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah. Yep, and he coached at Oklahoma before he went to Clemson, so now he's back. And he brings a great culture with him. A lot of guys respect him. He tells the guys right out of the gate, if you're not ready to commit to us, then don't commit to us, because you see a lot of guys commit and then decommit, like what's going on with Notre Dame right now. So
that's good.
Yeah, top 10 recruiting class last year, and he didn't even get there until December.
What are they ranked?
9. I think they'll finish in the top 10.
With that schedule, they'll finish in the top 10.
Yeah, I foresee them getting in.
The only thing is if they have a hiccup and lose a game,
yeah,
with that schedule, they'll probably be out.
Yeah,
the top 10, because you just can't afford a loss. If 2 losses, you probably don't have a chance in college football.
No,
with how it is now.
Yeah,
1 loss, you can sneak in. You pretty much have to go undefeated. It sucks. It is what it is. But with that schedule, I would agree. What's a trap game?
A trap game, I'd say at Iowa State. Iowa State normally plays us tough. They got a good coach.
I was gonna say maybe at Nebraska because it's early on, but I don't. Yeah.
That could be. Kansas State normally plays us well. We got a new coach this year, so they might come in with a better attitude. Last year, obviously, we know Riley was already thinking about taking another job mid-season.
Who's the sleeper out of that conference?
To win it?
Just a sleeper that's going to be good, maybe not win it.
That's not ranked?
Just any team. Any team stick out?
Texas, they had a top 10 recruiting class again last year. So, if they can just put it together, I don't see why they shouldn't be good. They got Robinson coming back again last year at running back, and he was a stud. And they got he was the number 1 ranked quarterback in 2021. from Ohio State. Ewers. Quinn Ewers or something. He's supposed to be really good.
It's Oklahoma, Baylor, and Oklahoma State. Those are the 3 teams, and then maybe Texas.
Yeah. It's a 4-team race. When we join the SEC, it'll be a lot harder. But again, I think we should go 12-0, play Baylor at Jerry World, and beat them. That's just what I got. And
I mean, I don't think that's far off. I mean, I don't really see a loss. I mean, they don't even. Maybe at West Virginia. I mean, that could be a sleeper team. They've normally fielded a decent football team, but I don't. Other than that, I don't. It's a nice schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to fare pretty well, and I think next year we're projected to have a top 5 recruiting class last year, which surprisingly Lincoln Riley never had a top 5 recruiting class his entire time at Oklahoma.
And all the winning he still did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Those recruiting classes sometimes are, everyone says they got a top 10. I mean, Miami has one every year, and they've kind of been up and down lately. That's a team you need to look out for in the whole football world is Miami.
They ranked to start out this year?
They're ranked 16. They have another schedule like Oklahoma.
Cakewalk? Should be.
Yeah, and they got Van Dyke. Oh, he just slings it. Watch out for them. I think they could be they're 16. I think they could be top 10. And this might be the year that they dethrone Clemson.
What are some of the – okay, yeah, so do they play Clemson in the regular season?
I don't know if they play Clemson in the regular season or not. I don't think they do this year because I don't know if they play Clemson or not. But they have a very favorable schedule.
I think North Carolina's ranked.
They do play North Carolina, but I think that's in Miami. I could be wrong. I know they play North Carolina, but with Van Dyke, Miami's going to be putting up 30, 40 points a game. I really think so. They did last year. But we'll jump into Illinois here because that's my team. So I think Illinois kind of got if I had to choose easier or harder schedule, they got the easier side of the Big Ten this year, which is good. They have 7 home games and 5 road games. Their first 4 non-conference games are versus Wyoming. Well, Indiana's not a non-conference, but it's week 2. I don't know why it's week 2. Then they play UVA, which is University of Georgia. Or Virginia. Virginia. Yeah. And then Chattanooga, week 4. So those 4 games are going to determine their season and if they make a bowl game. Of course, there's a semi here going by, but if Illinois wants to compete in the Big Ten and just have a decent schedule and be looked upon that you're not going to run over them every week, they got to beat Wyoming at home. They have to beat Wyoming at home. I think they will. Indiana, I don't know much about Indiana football. I know they've been up and down. Normally they're bad, kind of like Illinois. So that's another game I think they could get. And then the Virginia game at home is going to be determined if they go 4-0, just their first 4 games, because I think they beat Chattanooga. I think they have a good shot of going 4-0. I think 3-1 is probably more realistic, maybe even 2-2. But
hey Cole, what's up?
What's up?
I got them going 4-0. And then at Wisconsin, that's a loss. I know it's Brett's old team, but that's a loss. Iowa at home is probably a loss. Maybe they have a chance because it's in Champaign, and they've upset a lot of teams at home in their history, huh?
Is that in November?
I think it's
or October?
Probably the end of October or
Okay.
early November.
I was going to say the cold might be a factor.
Then they play Minnesota at home. I think they get that. They won at Minnesota last year. At Nebraska, I'm going to say that's a loss. But then again, we don't know much about Nebraska. We beat them last year at home pretty handily, but they did make a comeback at the end. And then Michigan State is at home. Purdue at home. They got to go 1-1 in those 2 games, and I think they can. I just don't know much about these Big Ten teams yet. Is Michigan State going to continue to be good like they have? We don't know. Purdue's up and down. And then at Michigan and at Northwestern. So they're going to lose at Michigan, and I think they're going to win at Northwestern. That dog shit school at everything. Just bad.
Really smart, though.
Really smart.
Really smart.
but they like to claim that they're Chicago's Big Ten team, and they're just not.
Great doctors.
So I got Illinois going 8-4. Probably a realist would have them going 6-6, but I think 8-4 because they play a lot of the easier Big Ten teams of the past. Is why I say that they don't play Penn State.
They don't play Ohio
They don't
State.
play Ohio State. Just teams you're not going to beat. Honestly, I mean, since it's at Michigan, there's no shot. But normally, I mean, Michigan's hasn't been a powerhouse besides the recent couple years.
Last year.
So
Last year.
I mean, 8-4, 7-5.
Yeah, I agree. Bowl game though.
I think they make a bowl. I think 6-6 is the worst. If they're 5-7, Bielema's going to get a pass because it's year 2. And 5-7 does qualify you for a bowl game. Screw that.
That's kind of embarrassing.
6-6 is the worst I think that they're going to be. So,
Any chance you think they finish above 500 realistically?
Yeah, I think they finished. I think I got 8-4. Mark it down. It's probably wrong. I don't care. I got them 8-4 because a couple of these games are toss-ups and they're at home. So, and they're going to have Illinois is going to be run heavy this year. Run heavy, huge.
Who's your favorite to win it all this year?
In college football?
Yes.
Oh, geez. I mean, until you dethrone the champion. But, there's a lot of teams. I really think it's going to be more open this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if Alabama's going to be as good as Alabama is. Normally, we know Clemson's not. We think they're not. So maybe this is, years for teams like Miami, Oklahoma, teams that are in history have really, really good rich tradition history of football. Maybe it's time that they come back.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I got to say, I think Alabama's going to come back this year with a vengeance and dominate. But if I was picking favorites, I'd pick Oklahoma to win it all. But with that being said, we're going to move into finally the Cubs. Jake's got a lot to say like normal. So
yeah,
I'll let Jake keep
the Cubs have been playing really good baseball. I believe they're 15-10 since the All-Star break with a +17 WRC. I don't know. Was that run different? Something with run differential. They've been playing good baseball. They've won 4 series in a row. Now I know people. Yeah, podcast. So yeah, back up about the Cubs. They've won 4 series in a row. I know 2 of them have been versus the Nationals. One's been versus the Reds. Who was the other one? Anyways, 4 in a row. Then they beat Baltimore today. But the Cubs aren't that good of a baseball team either. So they're playing these bad teams and they're beating them, which is good. They've also the Cubs have played in 16 extra inning games. That's the most in the majors. I don't know their record in them. They just won one here a couple days ago. But the resurgence of Nico Horner, I hope he's the Cubs' second baseman or shortstop for the next decade. He does everything well. Christopher Morel, another young rookie. Justin Steele, Keegan Thompson, the 2 starters. Wilson Contreras behind the plate, who I don't know if he's coming back. I hope so. I don't know why you'd want a different catcher than Wilson Contreras. Ian Happ is an all-star, but he's been playing like an all-star. So there's players there that you can build off of going into next year. This season's probably done. It's over. But it's fun that they're winning. They're playing interesting baseball because that's what you ask for.
Yeah, and hopefully they get a few big names, at least one just huge name.
Well, how many times have we heard this? Again, they just said a couple days ago, the Ricketts did, I don't know, it might have been a week or 2 ago, that the Cubs are going to be aggressive in free agency. So enough of that bullshit and actually do it.
All talk.
There's going to be a lot of big names out there, and there's absolutely no reason the Chicago Cubs cannot afford them. There's no reason. And if you do it and it don't work out, you tried. It's time.
Yeah.
You're going to have Aaron Judge, Carlos Correa, Trey Turner. Who are some of the other shortstops? Xander Bogaerts, Trevor Story.
I like Trey Turner a lot.
I think the Cubs are going to get one of them, and so do a lot of other baseball minds. Think they're going to get a big name shortstop. which would be fine. That'd be awesome. They also need to get another big name starting pitcher. If they got those two things and maybe another like big bat or something, they should compete next year.
I'd love to see Aaron Judge with the Cubs, but I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Just have to open your paybook. I would love to see him hitting home runs off the video board.
Yeah. We won't pay more than the Yankees. Yankees will do whatever they got to do. So,
but yeah, they've been playing good baseball.
You got anything left to add, Jake? I don't have anything else.
Nope, nothing really.
No. So next time we talk to you guys should be the NFL, or not the NFL. First week college football should be over. So we'll have that to talk about, maybe some other NFL news. But that being said, you guys want anything for us to talk about, let us know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe and let us know where we can improve. That's about it. That's all I got. Everybody have a good week.